Alright, let's not waste time. Israel and Hamas just agreed to a ceasefire. 20 hostages released, 250 prisoners freed, and everyone pretending like peace just got installed on a subscription plan. But behind the so-called peace process, something bigger broke open. According to reports from the Washington Post and Sky News, while Gaza was literally on fire, Arab nations like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and Jordan were secretly doing military drills with Israel against Iran. Yeah, while Palestinians were dodging missiles, their brother nations were dodging eye contact with Israel in the same training camp. Welcome to the Middle East, the sequel nobody asked for. Everyone's celebrating the ceasefire like it's a Marvel ending. We did it, guys, the war's over. Except it's not. Hamas released hostages, Israel freed prisoners, but neither side really won. Israel claimed it would end Hamas. Guess what? Hamas is still running the police, still holding the streets, and still saying we'll only surrender our weapons to a new Palestinian government, not to Israel. Translation, you can't fire us, we quit. And this is where it gets interesting or depressing, depending on your caffeine level, because this ceasefire is less about peace and more about pausing for PR. The war didn't end because of victory, it ended because of optics. Israel's government was losing global support. The images of kids under rubble were going viral. Trump swoops in and says, fine, let's make peace happen. And suddenly, the same man who once said he'd wipe out Hamas in 2 days is now taking selfies at Tel Aviv peace rallies. Here's where the real plot twist drops. Washington Post revealed that while Gaza was being bombed, several Arab nations were secretly training with Israel's military on an American base in Qatar. Let me say that again. While the Arab world was publicly condemning Israel, behind the scenes, they were practicing war tactics with them. This isn't irony, this is betrayal. The same countries that go on global stages talking about the unity of Muslim Ummah were quietly sitting in a PowerPoint seminar with Israeli officers learning how to neutralize Iran. You know that moment in every movie where the hero finds out his best friend was a villain all along. Yeah, Palestinians are living that in real time. Then comes Sky News with another bombshell. Literally and figuratively, they found that the so-called Gaza Health Foundation, GHF, a joint project by Israel and the US meant to send aid to Gaza, was actually arming a militia linked to ISIS. Read that again. Aid money, guns, ISIS-aligned militia. Meanwhile, actual Palestinians, starving, wounded, displaced, were being shot at when they went to get that same aid. This isn't humanitarian relief, it's humanitarian trolling. And the guy leading that militia, Yasser Abu Shahab, he's supposedly against Hamas, but not against Israel, which is weird because that's like saying, I hate fast food, but I love McDonald's. And this is where the hypocrisy turns Olympic level. Remember when the US said, we don't negotiate with terrorists? Turns out they just rebanned them. When ISIS was killing Muslims, it was terrorism. But when the same ideology helps remove a government that opposes Israel or the US, suddenly they are freedom fighters. Look at Jalani, former ISIS-linked leader in Syria. One day he's on America's most wanted list. Next day he's doing talk shows and shaking hands with world leaders like he just got promoted to CEO of Moderate Extremism Inc. Even Trump literally praised him because he removed Assad, who supported Iran. See the pattern? If you're against Iran, you're an ally. If you're against Israel, congratulations, you're a terrorist. So, who really won here? Israel didn't destroy Hamas. Hamas didn't liberate Palestine. What did happen is the world got a mirror. Arab leaders were exposed for playing both sides. Israel got exposed for funding extremists while calling everyone else extremists. And America, once again, acted like the moral referee while secretly owning the stadium. Meanwhile, Palestinians, they just keep surviving. They rebuild, they return, they bury the dead, and they move back into homes made of dust and hope. Now enter Donald Trump stage right. He arrives in Israel like he's headlining a comeback tour. The peace dealer live in Tel Aviv. Crowds cheer for him, not Netanyahu. In fact, when Netanyahu's name is announced, people boo. Think about that. The man who led Israel through this war is now less popular than a US president facing 91 indictments. Trump claims he made the ceasefire happen, which begs the question, if he could do it in 2 days, why didn't he do it in 2,000 bombs earlier? Maybe because the images had to get bad enough for him to look good enough. Now, Egypt is hosting a Palestine conference to decide the future of Palestine. Sounds noble, right? Except the people who actually live there are barely invited. It's like holding a family meeting about your life and forgetting to call you. World leaders will sip coffee, pose for photos, and decide what freedom means for Palestinians without a single Palestinian voice in the room. Because peace is great as long as it's convenient. Now here's the truth no one wants to admit. There can be peace until Palestine is free. not just symbolically, but politically, geographically, and economically. You can't bomb a people into submission and then call it negotiation. You can't train their neighbors to attack Iran and pretend it's regional stability. And you definitely can't use the word ceasefire when the only thing that stopped is the Wi-Fi. So yes, maybe the guns are silent right now, but if justice doesn't follow, those guns will speak again. So what's the lesson? Simple. In the Middle East, everyone's playing chess, but Palestinians are the board. Every peace deal, every headline, every handshake happens on their land over their lives. Until they get their own voice, their own state, and their own future, peace will always be someone else's PR stunt. I'm Mauser. This is a breakdown. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and do subscribe to the channel for more deep dives.